Hi there, this is Subnetting video 28. Forgive me for not having my picture here, but it's late at night and my lighting was terrible, and so I decided to just turn it off. This is a specific kind of problem you might see once in a blue moon. You won't often see it on a certification test, although technically it could show up, and if it does, here's a way to tackle it. Let's say we want to find the 300th network when we're subnetting. Well, if we just add the increment 300 times, that could take quite a long time. So there is an interesting way around this. This also works with the the fourth subnet and the third subnet and the fifth subnet and so on. But it particularly works with those really large ones, or helpful with those really large ones. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. This is a three-step process. We're going to simply take the network number that we want. For example, let's say we wanted network 300. And we'll take that network number and minus 1. I called it network number, nnum, minus 1. And we're going to convert that to binary. The reason we have to minus 1 is because of that, the fact that we count as humans 1, 2, 3, 4, but the computer counts 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're subtracting 1 first and converting it to binary. Then we're going to interpose whatever this result is into the subnet portion of the network we started with. So then we're going to convert back to decimal. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's say we have a network of 150.15.0.0, 255.255.0.0. Now we're going to divide this up into 1,000 hosts, and we want to know what network number 250 is, what the network address is for the 250th network. Well, that sounds pretty hard. However, it's not as hard as it sounds. Let's start with those steps. I'm going to convert the network number minus 1 to binary. I want network 250. So I'm going to take 250, subtract 1, and get 249. And then I will take 249 and convert it to binary. Now, I didn't show the conversion steps because we covered those in an earlier video, and I didn't want to go through those again and take a long time on this video. So I just converted it for you, and we got 1111 1101. If you like, sometimes some people like to put a space between these two little sets here just to make it easier to read, but if you converted 249 to binary, this is what you get. Step 2, then, I'm going to take this number. Here's our answer from step 1, 1111 1001. And I'm going to interpose that, this result here, into the subnet portion of the address. Now, how did I get this? Well, remember, I needed 1,000 hosts. So, just like we've been doing on our table or on our fingers, we could count 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024. So 1024, I would need this many bits, 8, 9, 10 bits, in order to have 1,000 hosts. So this is the subnet portion then of this address. The rest is going to be just host bits. And I'm just going to interpose this into this. And you notice I'm going to start up here at the right hand edge and just go 1111 1001. So these will be zeros over here. So, of course, I'll start at this end to make it easier. Put the 1 in this place, this 0 in this place, this 0 in this place, and so on to get this number. Once I get this, the third step is simply to convert this back to decimal. So we're going to take this result, move it over here. Here's our result, 150.15. And then here's our the same thing we just had, and convert it back to decimal. And it turns out we get 150.15.62.64. And it turns out that this number is the network address for the 250th network. Now that's pretty simple. Now if we're doing that same calculation, by the way, and we borrowed 10 bits in a Class B network, and we looked at our chart, we would see that the increment is 64. The increment is 64 in the 4th octet. So if I wanted to figure out what the broadcast addresses would be, I would just add 64 to this. I get 62.128. Subtract 1, so 62.127 would be the broadcast address. And then, of course, we can have the first and last. So first, if 62.127 is the broadcast address, then 62.126 would be the last usable address, and 62.65 would be the first usable host address. So we can still do our increment just like we've done in the past in order to get the broadcast address and work backwards. Now, we began doing this with a table. You notice a lot of the times now I'm just doing this without a table. And if you need a table to do it at this point, go back and look and see how you do it on a table. But eventually you're going to find yourself just doing that in your head. 64 plus, well, our increment is 64 in the 4th octet, so 128, just like that. 128, okay, 127 is the broadcast, 126 is the last network address. If this is the network address, then 65 is the first usable address. So that's how we do it. And so have at it. We'll have a couple of problems like this in our worksheet this week. If you're in my class, if you're just listening somewhere else online, then play around with this until you get good at it. Just follow these steps. And we'll see you then I think that's all for this week. I think I said that last video, but then I decided I better add this one when I saw that we had some worksheets that covered this. So have a good time with this, and we'll see you, if you're in my class, we'll see you in class, and we'll practice this a little bit.